So
not Alex.
Not Alex. Yeah, that's true.
Why?
Yeah, well, that's a personal opinion of Elon's, which I don't agree with at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they let Andrew Tate on.
Right.
You know, it's like...
Yeah, it doesn't mean that he's endorsing Alex to let him back on.
Right, it doesn't. I mean, because there's a lot of people that are back on that are, you know... They didn't make that one specific mistake that Alex made, but they've said some...
But the mistake
that...
the reason Alex was banned was because he it was actually for something he did off Twitter. So he confronted this journalist, Oliver Darcy, in a line at some event, and he was, you know, being Alex Jones, sort of ranting at him.
Yeah.
And then Twitter said, oh, you're bullying this guy, and this is, like, not acceptable behavior, so you're going to leave. But then when I remember, you know, the exchange with Elon and whoever it was that was asking, it was that he hadn't been let on because of the Sandy Hook stuff.
Yes.
Which is not the same. That's not even why he was banned.
Right.
So, you know, it's not easy. I understand, you know, the politics of it, and he probably has Tim Cook being like, you know, we're not going to advertise if you have Alex Jones, but I don't know what's going on. But it doesn't seem to me, because he could win the argument if he would just let him back on.
Right.
And did you see this crazy clip of Elon and the BBC guy?
I did. I posted it today on Twitter.
You did?
It was amazing.
Amazing.
It was amazing.
It was amazing, yeah.
Because the guy kept trying to change subjects and let's move on. Like, no. What the fuck are you talking about? Because that guy thought he could just say the narrative without specific examples. Like, give me an example. And the guy had no examples.
That's most people who are concerned about this.
Well, there's like a lot of people that I know that are famous that like publicly announced they were leaving Twitter. And, you know, one of them I really love. And I was like, why are you doing that? I didn't even say anything to her, but I'm like, why are you doing this? This is so dumb. Like, you're just doing this because this is the thing that everyone feels like they're supposed to do. Hey, well, Twitter's kind of fucked now, so bye. No, it was fucked before. It's less fucked now. Yeah, there people that are going to say things like what I showed you earlier today, which is hilarious. And someone posted to Kamala Harris after she said something about the assault ban. That shit's important. It's important to have people mock people. Like, I'm sorry if it hurts someone's feelings, but that shit's important.
Yeah, and I think the way that Elon handled that was great, because obviously you need a specific example to back up an argument. However, I sort of think the whole premise of the conversation is wrong. This idea, this war that Twitter is at with all the think tanks, and I think it was the Institute for Strategic Discourse that had actually compiled the information that the BBC guy was talking about. And there is information there. There is data showing, you know, hate speech, XYZ, has increased. However, this is the wrong conversation. It's not the existence or even rise of hate in the presence of that content on an app is not, you're not just trying to ban hate. Banning hate does not stop hate. And this is what the peer-reviewed research shows. So trying to bully Elon and Twitter for, look, even if there was a bump of hate speech since it became a little bit more free, I mean, it seems like that's a potentially understandable intermediary effect to happen while things reorient. Like, we open up free speech. We're opening up the valve a little bit, okay? Because we think that this is going to be healthy for society long term. So let it bump a little bit. We need that. We need to see what we hate or what other people hate. You need to, like, what is it? Free speech lets us know who the idiots are. Like, you need to identify them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best response to whatever it is, bad speech, is better speech, is better arguments. And that's, you literally have a debate platform, which is what Twitter essentially is.
Yeah, that is the purpose.
Yeah, it's the purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, and not to mention that the hate isn't defined. So it's only one type of hate that these people are typically referring to.
Right-wing hate.
Right-wing hate. Yeah, not left-wing. Right,
hate.
that's okay. And so actually, we're suing California. We just filed this law because this complaint. They are trying to pass this social media law called AB 587, which requires, it's a censorship law. They require these policies on disinformation, misinformation, hate speech, and then they use, undefined, use the words extremism and radicalization. There's no definitions. They don't require you to have a child exploitation material policy, but they do require you to have a policy on hate, which isn't defined. Right. And so we're suing them with the Babylon Bee and Tim Pool.
When did they start this? When they start trying to pass this?
It just went into effect in January.
So it's now.
It's in.
So if you live in California, what's the repercussions?
So it's targeted at social media companies.
Okay.
So basically mandating that social media companies submit these policies. So they would force us to write a policy on hate speech and submit it to them. And then additionally, we would have to, on like a biannual basis, submit analytics about all of our moderation data, which honestly, we're already transparent about our moderation data. So that's that's largely public anyway. We have a jury system, and we have in-house moderators. But it's a huge burden. Like, it's crazy that they would expect companies to submit all that and then have these arbitrarily, well, actually not arbitrarily, specifically chosen categories for policies that are clearly politically charged. And Newsom, like, when he came out and announced this law, it was very, we have to stop hate on social media and misinformation and disinformation, protect society, protect democracy. No, you're not protecting democracy by stopping free speech. That
right,
is,
because there's no checks and balances in place if something turns out to be accurate, where then whoever put out that disinformation initially, like if someone posts something, like say masks don't work, and they get banned off of Twitter, and say, oh, this is in response to the CDC's. Well, if it turns out that masks actually don't work, the CDC doesn't get punished, which is kind of fucking crazy. Because if they're the ones that are setting these guidelines, and these guidelines turn out to be inaccurate, and people get banned off of social media for arguing with these guidelines, there's no repercussions. There's nothing. These people are fucked, and there's no recourse. There's
right.
nothing to do.
Actually, that's the policy that we do need. We need the policy for social networks and media companies to, apologize and and fix their wrongs.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, why wouldn't the CDC be punished then? Well, shouldn't they be banned, or shouldn't they be have a strike against them? But they're not. It's like it's really frustrating because you're dealing with narratives that are oftentimes 100% propaganda, and they're not backed by science. They're not back. It's just like some things that people say. Like when Rachel Maddow was on television telling everybody that this vaccine stops the virus in its tracks. If you get vaccinated, the virus can no longer affect you. It can't affect anyone else. It stops, and we can get out of this thing. Well, that's not fucking true at all. And that person, there was no repercussion other than